Wolf. And it looks like the okay was given. So we get to see Jakal Supersonic against Gackt Ness.
Is that really what the...
That's where, yeah. Jakal was a Sonic man.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know the...
I don't know if it's actually...
Dude, it better stand for that. I am going to be livid if it does not stand for that. Jakal Supersonic. That's awesome. And Gackt Ness. Yeah, wow, that's crazy. The characters that they're playing right now. Either way.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, they're the same, right? They both have eyes.
True.
All right, moving into the match. Gackt has gotten the best out of these first initial scrap situations, but it's obviously one neutral interaction away from Wolf just destroying your entire soul. So,
yeah, I like how Jakal is willing to push the initiative, right? Like, when you give Ness enough space, that's where all these aerials can really do damage because the hitboxes are so huge. Yeah. But you have Wolf's speed, you have Wolf's initial dash. Be in Ness's face. Force him to just nair you a million times. Because, hey, if he's nairing you a million times, he's not doing his Dragon on up air combos.
Exactly.
He's not doing any PSI magnet stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and it's something that's interesting about Ness Nair is it actually has a pretty favorable hitbox below him as well. That's decent for landing in certain situations, at least for a trade. So, I mean, you're seeing Gackt just use it as an all-purpose tool just because of how little lag it has and how the hitboxes are placed. And Jakal's doing fine thus far, right until he just commits a little bit too hard for that dash grab and gets owned by the bear.
You're going to have to eat that if you're looking for something a little bit too risky. That again, these stalls off stage throw off as much of Jakal's timings as possible because he's seeing plenty of PK Thunders to ledge. Yep. You're not always going to land every 2-frame if you play your cards right. Oh, the jumps out of the corner.
Yup, he's a Shoto. Everybody knows it. He's too good. Oh my gosh, yeah, and that up air is just going to completely eat that Wolf Nair. It's so large.
Yeah, look at Gackt just meeting Jakal in so many of these falling aerial situations where Jakal has initiative. Not so against Gackt, but that up smash out of shield is going to punish one of the major things that Gackt has been going for throughout this entire bracket, and one that got away with almost all the time.
Yeah, and that's matchup experience for sure. Jakal has been in that situation before. Almost running into that up smash, but continuing the pressure here with the dash attacks. Oh no, doesn't get the blaster tech chase. What an insane... I've never seen that not hit. That's crazy.
Yeah, not even the bayonet hitbox came out, which is terrifying to see that single down tilt, but Jakal has guessed enough times the clank on the up smash.
You can see Gackt kind of get really, really over-eager for these up smash reads. I mean, they're so close to working, obviously, but Jakal is getting a multitude of percent for punishing them, and now...
Wow, the layers that these two have set up, but forward smash, the pushback of the move so strong it pushes you out of shield grab range, and Jakal knew that, but Gackt was not ready for just that.
It was so close. I would have been so happy.
He would have had the fast fall right then, but decided a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He kind of had to avoid the tail of PK Thunder as well while setting up for that, so made for a difficult situation. Gackt still taking a brunt of the percent in these neutral interactions right now as Jakal's just continuing the lead here in the advantage.
Forcing an air dodge. Oh, but the down smash was a little bit too early. Man, Gackt has been jumping from ledge, and the majority of these times, Gackt has gotten away with it, but every so often you find the up smash, you find the nair, and you just get so much damage. Ooh, the patience coming out from Gackt in order to just reset on ledge.
Nice. Wow.
So it's the difference between a floaty and a fastballer right there, Turtle Hands. Like, just, hey, I have enough time in the air to throw out multiple aerials and cover a lot of space, but those aerials are nowhere near me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference of staying power that floaties have. They can kind of cover the same area very effectively with their large hitboxes, lasting aerials, and slow fall speed. And then the fast fallers are just like, I'll cover that area, and then I'll cover another area. Right. So Jakal's picking the positioning quicker than Ness can. It's just working out so well for him as we move into small battlefield. The smaller blast zones, I know Syrup is a fan of the smaller blast zones, so it's not a surprise to see Gackt enjoy it too.
staying power is, I think, going to be not just the name of the game in that interaction, but the name of the game in the set as well. Like, can Jakal stay consistent with the level of power he was showing off in game number 1?
Oh!
So far, game number 2 is showing just like that.
Destroy him? Okay, okay. Just getting the up smash. I get it. Ness has a really weird drift mix-up out of that, so that's fine.
Yeah, don't want to gamble with anything more. Always take the damage that you can before getting a little too greedy. It's what has gotten Jakal as much success as they have, but unable to cover the air dodge well enough. But still playing just so well underneath these platforms. Forcing, whether they be left or right, Gackt is always getting caught by so much.
Isn't it kind of messed up that this New Jersey tournament is Wolf, Ness, and Grands? That's all I'm saying. Like, that's kind of messed up.
Here we are again.
Fusion Grand Final.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. In a way.
Anyway.
Just like many of those grand finals, Jakal is up a stock and starting to put up so much damage. Well, we will say Gackt has been excellent in the tech chase defensively, being able to find punishes or at the very least escape with minimal damage. Like down throw, dash attack only getting 25, that's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, these small conversions in between stocks, Jakal's making it work so well, and Gackt is just unable to find consistent momentum in this matchup, not even killing with the up air. The Nair trading just in time, but the scrapping Nair, I mean, that Nair does everything. It kills, it combos, it covers space, it lets you land. It's got everything.
Dummy amount of damage and amazing scaling with just about every single attribute. Ooh, but that down smash, it's just, that down smash and this back air are just chock full of base knockback, and they can blow Ness up at just about any percent. The up air is a solid punish. Nothing to close out the stock quite yet.
And you were calling out Gackt's jumps from ledge earlier. Looks like Jakal has also caught on to that option, just using that wolf up air to cover things and just waiting for the commitments. I mean, this is someone who's played this character so much. Like, that's why I made the call I did. But Gackt still plays differently. He can still make something happen, especially off of a stray hit. This is huge. What a reset. But I can't believe that actually hit him before the yo-yo did.
You have to close out the stock here, but you get intercepted by up air, and I mean, that neutral air does set up the same scenario on the other side, but Jakal smartly, I'm going to jump, I'm going to use that airspeed, I'm going to just reset neutral.
Yeah, he just took center stage. Like,
all right, bye.
Gackt was not prepared for that at all. Still fencing with these back airs. I mean, Gackt just has to wait for, it feels like, the right option for Jakal and just challenge, be a little bit more patient with some of these calls, but those up smash calls have been right a majority of the time, so definitely don't doubt those.
Ooh, that down smash was eager, to say the least, a little ambitious, and Gackt gets away with quite a bit because of it.
Man.
Hey, the benefit of being a fast forward sometimes. Yes, some combos hurt a lot harder, but sometimes at low percent, you just don't get hit by the combo at all.
Yeah, you just fall out of it.
Fall right
You're on the
out.
ground,
Like,
and then you
oops,
spot dodge,
sorry,
and then you get
guys.
them counter hit, and then, oh my goodness gracious, speaking of counter hits, that would have been one hell of a counter hit.
and no counter to that missed counter hit, because Gackt got just far enough to avoid the dash grab, and just enough of these scrambles, just enough of these trades to keep this game very scary for Jakal.
He relied on it, and it worked out. The Nair not quite going to do it, but the drop down back air, you're not going to have enough time no matter what angle you choose there. Jakal with the excellent edge guard, converting into a nice game 2, and hopefully a set win next if he continues playing this hot.
Yeah, just looking unperturbed by so many of Gackt's tricky setups, just understanding, hey, I can be anywhere faster than Ness can be there. So I can just hop around no matter how small the stage is, no matter how limited Gackt tries to give me in terms of space to move, I can always find a spot that's either offensively good enough to land a hit or defensively good enough to avoid getting hit, assuming he doesn't get overeager with some of these aggressive nairs, because that led me got into a huge PK flash and just a bombastic start to game number 3.
Gackt just said time to get creative, and that's what he does best. Ooh. But it don't matter how creative you are when Wolf back air is on the plate. I mean, fair to back air has just been the name of the game, and Jakal's just been hitting it consistently.
One of my favorite things about as metas for games progress is, like, yeah, things in the midsection often focus on like true combos, true conversions, like what are your bread and butters, what are your kill confirms, like all of that fun stuff. But when you're as far along in a metagame as Wolf is, sometimes you just go for you start to learn what's the fake stuff that works sometimes.
Yeah.
That fair to bear wasn't true.
Oh, yeah.
But it worked.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. At that point, you know where Ness is going to be. You know his double jump is slow. He has to commit in order to avoid it.
You just get to play your game and play it well. That pivot grab with getting to be singular up throw, but good drift on the part of Gackt to avoid any sort of punish. You got to find something up your rope. Whoa, that forward tilt missed, and the reversal from Gackt.
That was so funny. It just like he hit him with like the back hit of his shoe or something, and it's just like, oh!
Those heels, they don't lie.
Yeah, that Ness F tilt actually surprisingly strong to kill percent.
Very true.
Oh!
So is that up-angled Wolf Flash. Very well spaced on the part of Jakal, though unable to find a 2-frame yet throughout the day, throughout the set thus far. But that up smash closing out another stock for Jakal in such a dominant position. 2-0 and 2 stocks up.
Yeah, I mean, Jakal's just winning every single aerial interaction. Like, Gackt is having such a hard time of establishing himself in neutral consistently just because of the enormous range and staying power of these Wolf hitboxes. My gosh, trying to jab the shield for a mix-up here. I like the idea there. Trying to get at least some kind of mix-up there, but every trade is just a nightmare for Gackt as he continues to climb up in these percents.
That's assuming some of these moves trade at all, man. Like, Ness's hitboxes are big, but Wolf's are not only large, but they're disjointed, and all of those aerial trades and scrappy situations turned into a desperation for Gackt, which turned into a nice and easy dashback punish for Jakal. 3-0 in the first set. True finals, here we come with Jakal in a head of steam.
I'm gonna be real. I expected a little bit more adaptation time necessary, but Jakal is just absolutely dominating this set thus far. Gackt is going to have to make some major changes if something is going to change with the outcome here, because Jakal has just been absolutely dominant.
And we're going right into Pokemon Stadium as the starter. Small battlefield on the Apex rule set is a counter pick, so
interesting.
Don't always have it access to it, despite Gentleman's Clause existing, yada yada yada. Rule set stuff that you don't care about because we're watching Gackt try and take this game a little bit slower. Feeding into Jakal's speed can get hard to deal with if you're always at a damage deficit. Now, a little bit more precautious.
Yeah, it's all about covering these drift-ins correctly. You need to figure out when Jakal is trying to establish himself in neutral and throw out the correct hitbox. But if you do it too preemptively, you just get hit like that and put into a terrible situation. Gackt trying to fight back, but Jakal gets a very nice back throw. Continuing the pressure. Oh, nope, too high.
Wow, the presence of mind to consistently pressure with forward tilt at the ledge here. Gackt has all of these tricks close to stage, but not doing anything against that big disjointed button. Speaking of, these up airs are going crazy. The pressure on platforms, fair up air jabs covering so much space and doing so much damage. I was waiting for the jump downer.
Yeah, my gosh. I mean, it just seems like Jakal knows exactly what Gackt is going to do, and if he doesn't, it's just like, oh no, I got hit by fair, oh well.
And look, I mean, look at the response from Gackt thus far. It's been, all right, you're all over me, you're pressing so many buttons, and you're being very well-spaced about it, so I'm just going to paint the roses red. I'm going to cover all of this space in big, sparkly hitboxes, and some of them will connect.
Yeah. At that point, you're worried about the trade game, but Ness can take one stray hit and turn it into a disgusting edge guard against Wolf. So we just need more of that explosiveness from Gackt, right? We're seeing like stray hits be okay, but other than that, I mean, he hasn't gotten much momentum off of hits.
Yeah, 46 after just single hit nairs, single hit up airs, like nothing crazy. Nice. And the same mix-up that you've been going for has just fallen victim to Jakal. Despite all of this jumping that he's been doing, he'll just take the time, a couple seconds, to hold shield and to let Gackt fall into his loving arms.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, Wolf is definitely an over-eager parent with how much he wants to wants to figure out. Yeah, well, I don't know where that was going. I'm just gonna let it drop. All right, whatever. we got Ness, we've got Wolf. They're fighting each other, and Jakal is doing an excellent job.
Well, we leave some bits on the cutting room floor and let the players do the talking for us. Oh, looking for that forward smash that won a previous game. Not quite there, but there's no snow on the ground quite yet, but it's a little chilly, and I can feel the snowball start to rise as Jakal just keeps on pushing his advantage, pushing his just practically untouchable neutral. Every hit that he's managed to land,
every single read is just getting hard called out. Like, you gotta like mix it up with Gackt, but no, yeah, not quite, because center stage, man, this is tough.
Every single hit from Gackt is earned, and it's very seldomly amount to more than an advantage. They spacing it correctly to get that spike, and another 2-stock for Jakal, who is looking like he's on the road to a 6-0 sweep unless Gackt can figure something out, and running it straight back to small battlefield. Gackt, we've mentioned it before, a very experienced player.
Yeah.
With Wolves everywhere. The Zachary was one of the big names, but Atelier is currently switching from Pokemon Trainer to Wolf in Japan. So there's no shortage of good Wolves, but for lack of a better phrase, Jakal's an experience.
Yeah, he is an experience, that's for sure. And usually it's not a good one if you're fighting him. You're just like, oh, I can't do anything. Right.
He's just prepared for so many of these. And Ness is one of his more prepared matchups given the meta that Tri-State currently sits in.
Yeah, but something that we do have to compliment Gackt on is his up-Bs have just been so good. He like never gets two-framed, and that's something that Ness often falls victim to. Like, really just excellent recoveries, making Jakal work for the kills at the ledge. They're working out for him, but oh man, that's actually a really good counter hit in that situation. No way, that is pre-patch, bro.
With the thing. With the silly thing.
Oh,
like the one gimmick it feels like Wolf has.
Yeah, Wolf's just like, LOL, I'm Sephiroth sometimes. Don't forget it.
My boots are...
Whoa!
That didn't go as far as I initially expected.
Yeah, that was like Brawl Ness yo-yo. Like, what the heck?
Oh, okay.
Either way, Gackt ends up sealing these stocks. We are at even straights right now. 1-0 in the set count for Jakal as he continues to pile on the pressure. 51 now on Gackt.
Yeah, the ledge play has been good from Gackt, but it's just how many times he gets put to ledge. Like, oh, lead nair, instant grab, force the air dodge, go back to ledge. Let's do it all again.
Yeah. Even without the up-Bs, Gackt just doing an excellent job of magneting to ledge, just avoiding 2 frames altogether. Jakal's kind of somewhat given up on it and just like waiting for 2 frames if he up-Bs. Yeah.
And attempting a 2-frame. Yeah, I see what you mean though, Sharon. It's like once you see the PK Rocket, that's when he's looking for forward tilts. Hey, he got one.
However, that air drift is so...
Did I mention how Wolf's claws are disjointed? Because they just said PK Rocket. No.
I'm sorry, you just can't recover. Oh, but you can't even play the game anymore, dude. Holy moly, this is the explosiveness that I was expecting to see from Gackt, and with the confidence of that read, that might be a tide turner.
Yeah, that's a big thing to show off, because now now Jakal is a whole lot more concerned about getting any single hit, any single glimpse of PK Fire can suddenly turn into a double jump PK Fire, Magnet Bear, instead of just like, oh, a grab, or oh, like a forward air. Like, one is a lot more deadly than the other.
Yeah, Jakal's nair spacing on these side magnets has just been impeccable. Gackt still having to work very hard for these hits. Very good coverage on that double jump, not quite able to get it, and trying to get these grab mix-ups too. Gackt pulling out all the tricks, not able to get a cross-up, but Jakal hits it with a nair anyway.
What an insane turn of events, and I think it was with exactly that PK Fire finisher, where Gackt has somehow, in neutral, found ways to make Jakal to stop moving.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
He is now much more reserved, much more grounded, and in turn, falling victim to so many of Gackt's overwhelming aerials.
Wow!
And falls victim once more to a big back air, landing it down on the huge whiff punish. Seeing the forward smash from Jakal. It worked before, but not this time. Gackt gets a point on the board.
Yeah, that's a massive point. You saw the momentum shift the moment that second stock was gone. He was just like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And immediately switches flipped. You did a great job of analyzing why those switches flipped and how they flipped. Now let's see if they can stay flipped, and if those adaptations get adapted too, he can mix up that as well.
Yeah, he's still got at minimum three more games to go. If either of these players have their way, though, and are able to turn on those jets, keep those switches flipped and gears turning, this is going to end in 4 one way or another. All depends on how things fall out, as both players are extra precautious and extra potent on their spacing. Wow, what a gamble.
He hadn't done that all game, and that's a classic from Ness almost. You see it at mid-level all the time. Oh my gosh, yeah, that grab range is awful.
Just able to push a little bit out of the way thanks to some of those down tilts. Ness, the Shotokan master, coming on once again.
It's true! I can't understate it. Anyway, Ness, Gackt has been doing a good job of catching on to Jakal's jump patterns. The problem is Ness hasn't been able to ascend as high as Wolf can quickly enough to cover that. So he's just been forced to go on the wayside and wait for the landing like that. So, I mean, Gackt has been, honestly, catching on to this aerial drift so well.
Oh, that's gone.
Wow. I mean, this is a different Gackt.
Yeah, this is a Gackt with something figured out. It's like, okay, your nair timings and disadvantage have become much more predictable, much more counterplayable with access to these platforms. Wolf may move the same on small battlefield, move just as well, but Gackt can play with a better sense of punish game when having access to it.
Oh my god!
Wow, really?
And honestly, Jakal's just hesitant on these kill confirms or over-eager. There's no in-between. He's just not sure of himself at the moment because Gackt has been moving in a way that has been confounding him.
Yeah, he needs to find the ways and find the angles that he was attacking at before, or different angles than he was attacking at before.
Yeah. What a landing option. Yeah, because of the bounce, but he gets it anyway. There's no PK Thundertail right next to Ness, so he was able to pull the trigger immediately. That was a great mix-up from Gackt, but even better awareness from Jakal.
So tricky. It's so, like, unnecessarily tricky, but hey, you're at, like, 150. Hey, let's try it out.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that would have been a stock if it worked.
Absolutely. And it would have been like, hey, risk reward. I'm dropping this stock soon, so let's go for something big.
Exactly, yeah. That's the Gackt that we like to see, right?
Oh, the Jakal that we are so accustomed to seeing, these high percentage plays that hit through platforms, that pressure in the right areas, taking advantage of Wolf's insane initial dash to find some of these forward tilts and to build up the damage slowly and steadily into his favor.
Wow, just firing the blaster 3 times, no side magnets coming out. Jakal's just wanting a little bit of space, saying you have to respect me in the air if you're not going to commit to the side magnet.
Oh my god, so many of these back airs, so many of these PK fires, it's like every one of these is terrifying. And you're playing around all of that range so well. Forward tilt almost closing up the stock, but No-Yo does it for him.
And I think Jakal perhaps wanted a slight angle there and wasn't able to get it. Either way, Gackt not getting 2 framed once more. Trying to get this landing, but Gackt is just evasive as ever.
I like these up throws that Gackt has been doing as well. It's like most of his damage has come from like lingering up airs or neutral air trades. Excellent spacing on the part of Jakal though. Still setting up the same trap as before, but executing on Gackt's answer that he saw time and time again.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a really important game. Like usually game 3 is hella important. This one is like, it feels like a momentum decider because these two have actually been giving it their all.
Yeah, there's so much for change. Wow, that air dodge was so scouted. The Japanese man finding the American air dodge, but unable to punish it.
Oh man, as Wolf tries to break through with these dash attacks, looking like a different player almost, as Jakal's just letting these dash attacks fly and now hesitantly approaching. There we go. That's a huge punish, that Rising Bear on shield. The trade, not a great situation for Wolf, especially on that tech, but oh man.
Not as we're seeing with some of these ledge trapping. Oh, the forward tilt trade.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, attempted the dash back punish, but instead just going for the forward throw. Not confident in the read just yet, but the up smash whiffs. Jakal has a chance to close out the stock right here.
He wanted to bet it all, but he didn't. He didn't at the last moment. And that forward air just completely outspacing that bear.
Oh, the risk with the up smash, but the DI is going to be on point. Not closing out the stock quite yet.
Wow. Forced the jump and that amazing up smash trap again. Gackt finding success with that particular option, going up a game, and that was a nail biter.
Those are exhausting.
We're not even playing, and we're just like, the adaptations, the counter adaptations, why are they so good?
We've officially reached the next day. It is 12:03 a.m. and it is game number 4. Still potentially 2 games to go of just back and forth swingy type of set that I wouldn't have expected at all given how set 1 progressed.
Oh boy, and Gackt starting off with this movement. Jakal was kind of trying to like shadow Gackt's movement in the middle of that game 3 and tried to get what he learned on that last stock. Obviously didn't come to perfect fruition, but he was catching a lot of Gackt's jumps. So it's a matter of having those adaptations in the brain, and now Gackt just looking to capitalize on an already advantageous situation. Huge air dodge.
Yeah, getting just out of range of the PK fire, but misspacing his forward air slightly. This is such a weird, like, kind of the Yomi layers that we're seeing just throughout each one of these. Like in previous games, we would see Jakal call out Gackt for shielding so much, especially at higher percents, but as game 2 and 3 have gone, less and less grabs Jakal has been able to find.
Yeah, and Jakal was controlling the air for so long, it feels like he doesn't quite know what to do when he's not controlling the air. And Gackt just, again, with this up smash coverage, it is just biting Jakal in the butt, and Gackt is starting to run a train.
Yeah, taking so much damage, dealing out much damage unanswered, closing out stocks harder and harder to hit, finally calling out the dash in, unable to close out the stock. Oh, that forward air, that up air, just barely whiffing.
It may not have even netted the stock regardless. Gackt, I can't believe that bear whiffed. It looks like Ness just went completely horizontal, but the tech chase, Gackt was not ready on the correct DI for that down throw and paid for it with his life.
Feels like a first correct guess on a tech chase that Jakal has had in quite some time. And it resulted in a stock, but he's still playing catch-up. These back airs, oh, the empty land grab, so nice, and dealing so much damage in turn 105. Up airs after up airs. If you're going to contest with neutral air, Ness has got a button for that.
And Ness got a button for everything right now. Gackt is just shadowing Jakal's movement before he even knows where he wants to move. I mean, it's so difficult for Jakal to get in and get momentum. Obviously, Wolf can make one hit go crazy, but when your blasters start getting absorbed and that was your catch-all for some aerials, man, what happens next?
143, able to power through the PK Thunder, but oh wow, just run up and up smash. It just works.
Yeah, it just works. Shoutouts to Mars, my gosh. Yeah, but I mean, seriously, it just works for Gackt. It's been working so long, and this pressure has just been so good. Jakal hasn't been able to get momentum until now, but is it going to lead into a stock is really the question as Gackt continues the counter hit train.
That's the air dodge. leads that 2-frame, but the stall from Gackt was so good. Okay, roll behind, instant neutral air, pressing that button and trying to force Jakal into more and more tough scenarios. An up air comes out, but he misses the second up air, or the forward air that he went for.
Ness's aerial drift is just so strong. It's so difficult for Jakal to get the precise spot for that up air to land. Not getting the timing on that 1-frame standard getup, and now Jakal's going to be paying for it. Lost a lot of stage position here. Gackt able to do a lot of momentum there. Can he survive?
Missing it slightly. Wow, the up smash that was supposed to be there, but Gackt let the second activation of the PSI magnet rock to avoid the first up smash, but the dash attack came out. 77.7% is far from undoable for Wolf. You just need to find not just a throw, but you also need to find the tech chase afterward, or just find some aerials to set up for some platform pressure.
Yeah, maybe it's lucky sevens now, all turning up the jackpot, but I mean, Gackt is looking to try and get this pot as the Gackt pot right about now.
Right, that's how it Oh, just barely avoiding that up smash, and
what?
It was too early on the part of Gackt.
Cheating?
He let it rip too soon, and it gives Jakal more time and more rage and more back air per chance.
I mean, that DI on the up air, if Gackt DI'd that another way, he would have gotten hit, but it doesn't matter because those defensive aerials, the lead that Gackt had afforded himself was simply too much for Jakal to tear apart. And at the end of the day, despite a very shaky first set, Gackt able to adapt, have those explosive